Hey, what's up, my damn? It's MMTJ here, and this is part 2 of the King of the Road Rage series from the Bugatti Veyron standpoint. Now, I will say that in the 3 times that I've won this duel, it has always been with the Bugatti Veyron. I have never, ever beaten this duel with the Koenigsegg CCXR. Now, I'm pretty sure that it's possible to beat this race with the Koenigsegg, but as far as I'm concerned, every time I try to beat this race with the Koenigsegg, I've never been able to do it because I believe that, at least in my experience, the Bugatti is the car that is tailor-made to win this race. Now, what your personal preference may be is, like I said, your personal preference. You know, what do you think is better? Top speed or acceleration, or just straight up handling and poise? Because once again, with the Bugatti, it has top speed and acceleration. It doesn't have bad handling, but not as much as the CCX has. You know, with this car, in my experience, if I'm able to keep it at least stable going into some of these turns, then I find I have a better chance of keeping up with the AI if it just so happen to be in front of me, or staying ahead of the AI if it's behind me. Now, what you just saw right there with the CCXR crashing into that car, I want you to pay attention to how much, how far he is behind me and how quickly he catches up. Once again, brings me back to the point of rubber band AI. And I'm sorry if it sounds like I'm beating a dead horse, but once again, this game is, that's what makes this game, you know, it's so frustrating, especially in this duel, because of the rubber band AI. And that's really bad as far as this duel is concerned, because with the CCXR and its good handling and the rubber banding, it can make this car equal to or greater than the Bugatti Veyron. You know, there have been times where I run this race from both sides, and with the Bugatti, when I raced with it and I had the CCXR as my opponent, it seems like, fuck, it might as well be a fucking Bugatti, because it just kicked my ass just like that, because it seemed like the top speed and acceleration combined with the rubber band AI which just outmatched me. So another thing I want to mention in this video is the times that I've won this race, I've never won it because of flat out driving skill. I won it with less skill and more luck, because in this race, my AI opponent crashes, and I've always won this duel because of my AI opponent crashing. And I really don't like that. You know, I mean, granted, luck does take a part of it, but I don't want that to be the lion's share of the reason why I win a race. You know, because of the rubber band AI. I don't like the fact that no matter how good you drive, your opponent would just smack you in the face. The game just says, you know what, screw you. You may have drove good, but you didn't drive well enough, so we're gonna go ahead and give the AI the win. That is not a good example of gameplay mechanics, in my opinion. That is not a good example at all. And Criterion has a history of doing this with their games from Burnout 3 onward. Now, I never played Burnout 3, but from what I've read is that with Burnout 3 starting with that game, the rubber banding was really bad. That's something that Criterion didn't really know how to balance. Now, I will say in a new Need for Speed Most Wanted, that they kind of, I think they looked at their previous games and they balanced that out, because the rubber band in that game is not as bad, nowhere near as bad as Hot Pursuit was. It's definitely more manageable. But with this game, rubber banding just takes the cake, and as you saw right there, he crashed. Now, from that point on, when he crashed, I turned into the perfect racer. I did not screw up for shit. I kept my poise, I kept my speed up, I kept my head, and I wound up making it to the checker flag in first place. No BSing. It was on and popping since from that crash onward, because I already know. Once again, you heard me say this multiple times, but I'm going to say it again. With the rubber banding, if I screwed up with that golden opportunity, then I might as well just go ahead and rage quit. And there have been plenty of times where because of me having a considerable lead and the CPU just catches up, I have rage quit. I have rage quit more times than I won this race. You know, it's just, I will say that this race, it's a hard race, but it's not impossible. So that's basically what I want to say, because we're near the end of this race. My summation is that it's a hard race, but it's not impossible. You know, some people may have their preference, but for me, the Bugatti Veyron always got this race done. So once again, I want to thank you guys for sticking with me with this episode of Road Rage for King of the Road. Join me next time when I go ahead and do Dangerous Descent for TDU2, because that race has pissed me off very much so.